The Paris Ruby line of cakes began with founder Zelicia Smith specializing in fruit cakes. 6 years later, the brand has evolved into a small business offering other types of cakes. She joins us now to share her journey in baking, as well as tips on making great Jamaican Christmas cakes. I put great because some people make Christmas cake and they're not on good. All right, Zelicia, how are you?
I'm okay.
How did you get started in baking?
It started out with the inspiration from family. My mom, my grandma, and there was a family friend. Her name is Miss Carmen. She died in 2000 and I think 1 or 2 from the COVID. But the inspiration began there.
Inspiration began there. That's always the best, you know, because it's passing down the family secrets because everybody has their own little special touch.
Yes.
And that's why you are. So, I mean, I watch my mom bake and my grandmother, but Zelicia, I can't go bake pudding. So for your personal journey, what inspired you to keep the tradition going and to be actively involved as someone in the kitchen? Yes.
Well, let me tell you, it started when I wanted to know what can I do in life that would make a difference and also, you know, continue the trend through my family line that I hope to create. And I wanted to begin somewhere, didn't know where to begin. And then I realized I liked fruitcake. But then I realized not everybody gets it right. And there was only one person, and that was Miss Carmen, outside of my mom and my grandma, of course. Then I decided that I wanted to create it in my own way. Okay. Right?
With your own touch.
Yes, my own touch. And that's how it began there. Yeah. But I realized my family, my mom and my dad especially, they had business, you know, aspirations for themselves. And my father was able to bring his business to an extent. It was woodwork. But it was not, you know, fully
where he wanted it to
right.
be. Yeah.
And my mom, she wanted a flower shop, but that was not, you know, to fruition.
Yeah.
So all those elements combined, it's family oriented. The brand Paris Ruby, and past
Paris Ruby.
It's me wanting to create my own legacy.
Yes.
You know, with my own family. Yeah. But it's also a continuation from past to present.
So I was trying to get the name.
Yeah, Paris, it's really a unique name that is a story to be told another time.
Okay, no problem. We don't have to tell it today. Now, one of the things I realize is that some people, you will get a Christmas cake from them this year and it's so good, and then next year you get it and you say, what go wrong this year? Oh, this is not so,
Well, that's where I'm going to say the don't. I would say the do instead.
All right, no problem.
Create a recipe. And follow the recipe. Be consistent. Yeah. That's how you prevent that from happening. You know, this year
don't try to guess
good.
It. Don't guess your way through.
You know, just, you know, you wing it. Don't do that. You know, create a formula for yourself and follow that formula, be consistent with that formula so that you can be able to have persons enjoy what it is that you've created and the way how they enjoy.
Yeah, well, I've seen people do cookbooks, man, and they have to do the same thing over and over and over until they get it right. Right. So that's what you're saying. Don't bother make a big batch. Yeah. Make the little small ones until you get it right. Right. Capture that recipe and then make it a bigger one. Right. All right, I love it. Let's share some tips on the fruit cake and how you can make it and people eat it themselves. Where you buy this cake?
Let me tell you. Listen, when you're doing your fruit cake, ensure that you use only Jamaican products. Okay. Premium products. Okay. The rum, make sure you're using a good rum. Make sure you're using, you know, quality fruits.
You soak the fruits then?
Yes, I do. Okay. And you don't have to soak your fruits for many years and how many months before. But, you know, you can still ensure that you soak them very, you know, for a couple of days or so that they're, you know, softened and all of that. Ensure that you're using quality products, right? Also, ensure that you keep your cake in a good environment, cool environment, so that your cake can retain that moisture. Right? Ensure that you don't have the cake open and all of that sort.
Yeah.
So it prevents the cake from
drying out,
Yes,
basically.
right.
Yeah, becoming too hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when it is that you're baking a fruit cake, ensure that you put a lot of love in it.
Yeah. So I have here, allocate plenty of time to soak your fruit. It can be 2 to 3 days. As you say, it don't have to be a whole year.
Yeah.
Line the baking tin well.
Yes, that's also, so ensure that you line the baking tin so that whenever the batter goes in and it's time for it to come out, the batter, the cake would, be able to come out easily.
You can lift it easily
just
and it's
as
not
you would have
breaking
it
up.
there.
Yeah, maintains the shape of it.
Right.
And not all stuck to the tin.
Right.
Low and slow.
Low and slow for sure, because it allows the cake to be steamed properly, have the cake come together, have a nice form, so that whenever it is, when it's finished baked, it have a nice,
and that the inside is baked as well. And
right.
you have the outside pretend you put the knife in.
Right, can you notice you have some cakes when you cut it, inside just look dry, and the outside, so it prevents that as well.
All right, and finally, allow enough time for flavor to develop.
Right. So one important thing too, after the cake is being baked, do not leave the cake too long in the oven after it's been baked, because that can prevent it from, that allows it to dry, quickly, right? But
don't just make it and cut it same time either.
When you take it out, allow it to cool. You can give it, say, a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, but I would prefer a day.
Yeah.
Allow it to, the flavors to come together.
And
Miss Carmen always have her fruit cakes like
in November.
probably 3 days after. And she told me that it allows the cake to, come together in terms of the flavor, and it really does make a difference. I've tried it. So
I know. So Paris Ruby Cakes, there you have it. There's a website, parisruby.com, and you can check her out on social media at Paris Ruby Cakes. She brought some cake for us here. I wanted to see, with me, because I wanted to see that this fork just went right through.
That's how moist it should be.
And this is I wanted to see the inside of it, that it's all the way through. Look at that. I love it.
Paris Ruby fruitcake. And guess what, Delia? You're able to get Paris Ruby fruitcake in Fontana Waterloo, Fontana Fairview, Fontana Ocho Rios, and I like that. That's the consistent reaction of a Paris Ruby fruitcake. The wow effect. When you taste it, it's like the flavors just burst in your mouth. And you know what? The funny thing, it does it to me all the time, even though I'm the baker. It's as if when I have a Paris Ruby fruitcake, it's like I never had it before.
It's genuine. It's Christmas. We have to go because we have greetings across the world. Great meeting you, Zelicia.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. Get yourself a Paris Ruby cake. Listen, we're going to say hello to Aunt Millie and Aunt Tilly and Uncle Zilly. Greetings across the world. It's coming up next. Now left way we soon come.